in terms of the coaches, I am intrigued by some of the names y'all mentioned. Beamer, I think Beamer's safe for at least another year, unless this one's just like a disaster. I think, obviously last year was below expectation, but the season before, I would say exceeded expectations quite a bit. And I think that that's probably carried over a little bit. So I think he's probably, unless again, there's just some disaster of a season this year, I think his seat's probably safe, and then we'll look to the following season. Um,
I love how
Pittman,
none of us mentioned Vanderbilt, even though they didn't win a conference
The
game.
expectations
There's
are
no
it's
so
all
low
about
for
expectation.
Vanderbilt that it doesn't really make it. Plus, he's how long's Clark Lee been there for? Like
This is
2 years,
I
third
think it's
year.
his third or fourth year. I
Yeah.
can't remember, but
Oh, well, hold on now. If he's been there for 4 years,
well,
and
I
they
mean,
don't
let's
start,
look at how long did they, leave Derek Mason there, and
I
Five.
think I think he got four,
was
but
it
they've only
four?
won three. I think they've only won three SEC
I felt
games in the
like
last
Mason was
3 years.
there forever, but maybe not. I don't know.
I mean,
I'll look. I'll look.
the thing
But
is, I think they have to win a conference game
yeah,
this this season.
Yeah.
They didn't last year, so I think that's the threshold.
right. Let's just win a conference game.
I
Oh,
mean, that's
Yeah.
where you're at. And I don't know if they play Florida. I'd have to look at the schedule, but they might be able to take that one.
Hey, you never know. Matt, you have
Clark.
the stat?
Sorry, Derek Mason was there for 7 years.
Yeah, I thought he
Wow.
was there for a while.
He
Yeah.
went. He went
So
27 and 55.
yeah, I mean, the James Franklin, that era definitely was above and beyond what you would normally see from Vanderbilt. Thus, why he moved on. So, um,
Yeah.
but yeah, for
There's rumors, by the way. I've seen stuff on Twitter about James Franklin getting the boot if they don't start pulling pulling their weight, so to speak, in the Big Ten because
I
they
can
right,
see that.
haven't they haven't really they haven't really done what they're supposed to
I
do.
mean, they
I
went
mean,
to the Big Ten championship in what, 2016?
yeah,
Then
uh,
have they been back?
I
I
don't
don't
think so.
remember,
I'm
but
They
sorry.
can't ever they can't ever beat Michigan and Ohio State in the same
right,
season.
that's the thing. Yeah, but we need more Key and Peele skits. So I mean, that's he needs to stay there. But
By the way, fun fact about Derek Mason: he's currently now the head coach at Middle Tennessee.
yeah, yeah, that's cool. I saw him retweet something about Middle Tennessee the other day. I was like, oh, that's cool. I didn't
He's a
realize he
nice
was
guy.
there. Yeah, it's cool, cool dude. But Sam Pittman, I agree. Sort of the same as we talked about South Carolina a little bit, as far as a couple years ago having a breakthrough year, or at least better than average year, and then last year not meeting expectations, mainly losing those close games. I think we talked about this a week or two ago, where that'll really kind of tell the tale this year too. I think they have got to do better at closing out and winning those close games. But I absolutely agree. Pittman's seat is hot, and if we see another disastrous year or even a subpar year, he may be gone.
And the
Um,
thing for coaches too is that because we're expanding the conference, and it's not like we're expanding it to, a small school or, a school that's on a level of Vanderbilt. We're expanding the conference with Oklahoma and Texas.
right.
There's so much more competition coming
Oh,
in
absolutely.
that now the expectations have only gotten higher. We thought we had reached past a threshold. It's even higher now. There's going to be so much less patience for teams and coaches
Hmm.
because you now have more standards to be held to. It's not
Hmm.
the Tennessee, Alabama, and Georgia's, that you're like, well, those are the standouts, or the LSU's. It's now, oh, all everywhere in the conference is succeeding. So if you're like the one or two that aren't, the
Yeah,
magnifying glass on you just got so
Oh,
much bigger.
absolutely.
yeah.
And a lot of movement within the conference, and nobody wants to be relegated to like a Vanderbilt type status. And
No,
you know what I mean? Where when you think of them, no hate to our Vanderbilt fans if they're listening, but I mean, it's not the typical school you think of as a powerhouse in the SEC, right? So nobody wants that kind of expectation placed on them.
I
And
mean, maybe if it was like
so
1906, maybe, but
yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
God
they
was
were
five.
they were a
yeah,
powerhouse then.
they were.
Um, yeah, they really were.
By the way, guys, I do want to point this out while we were on the subject of firing coaches. It's always fun to kind of know what the buyout looks out like for some of these. Listen, these are going to make your eyes water. Shane Beamer's buyout right now, according to, well, this is as of December of 22. Shane Beamer's is $5.5 million. Okay. That's relatively cheap, I
Yeah.
think.
Right.
When
Yeah.
you're talking buyouts,
Yeah.
especially when you look at what the Texas A&M had to shell out for
Yeah.
Jimbo Fisher. Going up the list, because Shane's at the bottom of this list.
Mm.
If you look at Billy Napier's buyout, take a guess.
You're making me cringe. I'm thinking it's what, upwards of 10, 15. I don't know. Gosh, 20, 30,
No,
50.
39 million.
Oh,
no
39
way.
million.
His
Wow.
buyout's $39 million.
Gosh. Hey, strike
Guys,
when the iron's hot, man, and get yourself a good deal.
I gotta tell you, I would gladly get fired from my job if you're gonna
No
shell me
doubt.
39
Tomorrow.
39 million bucks.
No
Now
doubt.
here's the thing. According to, and this is off Saturday down south, so I'm not sure exactly where they got this info, but there's no info on Lane Kiffin's buyout. I don't think you have to worry about Lane getting fired anytime soon. And there's no information on Vanderbilt's because they're a private school. Sam Pittman's buyout is not listed because it's kind of a conditional buyout. So according to what they've got here, if he's fired without cause, he gets 75% of whatever's left on his contract, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
If he gets fired and the Razorbacks have less than a 500% win percentage, he gets 50% of what he's owed.
Oh,
So
wow,
that's not awful.
Built-in incentive to do better.
But that is a bit interesting because I'm kind of curious as to what's left on his contract. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Contract in 2024, base salary of $6 million,
A nice little base.
and
Yeah,
so
you know.
it's $6 million. So he'd probably get $3 million if he got canned.
Yeah, you know. Big
Chump
deal.
change. You better believe the donors can come up with 3 to 5, 6 million, no
Yeah.
problem.
Within an hour.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. And then I absolutely agree, Billy Napier. I think that's kind of a no-brainer given and I hate to say it because I mean you can almost just see the writing on the wall already just with their schedule, the way that the schedule lines
brutal.
up.
It is
They will
brutal.
fire him mid-season.
I don't know how he's going to make it through the season just with the schedule alone. Much less all the other mess
I
that
don't think
they've
he
got
cares
going
with
down
a $39 million buyout. Who cares?
They'd be like, fire me. Let's go.
And plus, he can end up falling back on some coordinator position.
For sure.
Like he's not going to have any
Yeah.
issues finding another job in a couple of years. You take a couple of years off, stay hang out with the kids,
Yeah.
and then go find something else to do.
No doubt. And then the one name that intrigued me, and I know nobody said that this was a true hot seat, but the Kalen DeBoer, you know, all eyes are definitely going to be on him. And if you, in my mind, I'm thinking if there's any kind of like close game, close call first in the first little bit of the season, or if, God forbid they lose to a team that they shouldn't lose to, you want to talk about a fandom that's going to panic, and
Like
push
a
the
million
panic button.
souls screaming out in pain and then suddenly going silent.
Right. And, I mean, you know how, and Jesse, you've been there, you know how it is on campus and everything. People are used to things being done a certain way and games going a certain way. And if, that happens to go south fast, then there's going to be a panic button pushed.
It's because there's so many, and I'll say it, I know for a fact, in the Saban era, there's so many what I'll call new fans. That's not a dig. That's not anything bad.
Yeah.
Obviously, people see the success. They're not into college football. They get into college football. They go to the university. They're from a different part of the country, whatever it may be. They become an Alabama fan in the Saban era. It's a very different era than the one we had prior to it.
Ooh, ain't that the truth?
Quite different, drastically different places on that emotional continuum. All right. So those of us that are a little bit more seasoned, that grew up being bullied by Auburn fans, we're okay. All right. Like you said, Saban, we lost to Louisiana Monroe. We lost to Utah. And then he was hired in 2007, and then in 2009 we won a natty. That's 2 years. That's insane, but it's 2 years. So I need the Alabama faithful, new and old, brand new, hot out the oven, and those of us that are seasoned, remember that we're in a new era. We're in new territory. Even if Saban had stayed, new territory, completely new. College football is changing.
Yeah.
And we're going to have some patience, and we cannot throw the baby out with the bathwater the moment that there's a play call that we don't agree with, because Saban called plays we didn't agree with. All right. So let's all just relax, lower these expectations, and just remember it's all going to be okay. It's all
Right.
okay.
And I
say
think
mid-season I may be freaking out.